Hey everyone, I wanted to talk a little bit today about COINTELPRO and leftist infighting. There's this idea that I have seen before. I've probably repeated this myself, and it just kind of recently came up on my feed, so I wanted to talk about it because not only is it wrong and therefore annoying, but I think it's also borderline dangerous. So to give a little background about COINTELPRO was a array of policies and procedures that was designed by the FBI in the United States in the 1950s to sort of like combat left-wing groups. Ostensibly and officially, these policies were sort of designed to like counter the narrative of left-wing thinking. So it's supposed to like make you question whether or not left-wing ideas were correct or not. Um, one of their one of their published internal pamphlets that kind of somewhat recently got declassified sort of mentions a list of ideas that they can do to sort of like bring down leftist organizations. One of those was to infiltrate the organization and then sort of like pick a bunch of fights or be annoying, sort of like with the intent of like dragging down or dragging out like certain procedures that the organization might take, maybe just generally annoying everybody until they quit, I guess is the idea. This is stupid. This didn't work. The idea that like this did work is offensive. It's disrespectful. To give an example, let's talk about the Black Panther Party. The Black Panther Party was the pinnacle of revolutionary organizations organizing within the Imperial Corps. They were the best of the best. Everything that they did was perfect, and we should use them all as a model, right? So not only were they militant, they would like walk outside with guns and like dare the police to pick a fight with them. They were kind and compassionate. They started like free breakfast programs for kids, and they were extremely well read, right? These were smart people. To join the organization, they gave you like a list of books that you had to read, and they would test you on before you even like step foot in the door. Okay, they're not some ragtag group of people that are so stupid that if you like join the organization and you start being annoying, they just give up. Right? That's such a that's such a stupid. It's a stupid idea, right? No, the Black Panther Party was an amazing organization that was really, really smart. It got brought down by two things. I'm going to mention the second one later, but the first one is violence, right? The thing that brought them down was that they got killed. The police shot them. If they didn't shoot them, they would arrest them on false charges, right? So this is the reason why Assata Shakur had to flee the United States. This is the reason why like Bobby Seale went to prison. This is the reason why Bobby Hutton and Huey Newton and Fred Hampton all got shot, okay? Not to mention all of the other like African American contemporaries at the same time, like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, that also got shot, right? The idea that like COINTELPRO infiltration, like being annoying tactics, like destroys organizations or is something to be afraid of is stupid. No, you should be afraid of the police. You should be afraid of guns. You should be afraid of being arrested. That's the real things that you need to be worried about. So, right, leftist infighting or whatever, not a thing, doesn't exist. If it does exist, it's a good thing. It's a great thing. You should want more leftist infighting. Every type of skilled profession and every type of knowledge set is based off of criticism and peer review with the idea of making it stronger and making it better. If you're a doctor, you learn from a more experienced doctor who tells you whenever you make a mistake. If you're a scientist, you peer review other scientists' work, you publish your things, and you hope that somebody finds a flaw in your thinking so that you can correct it and get better. And if you're a leftist, you also need to be doing the same thing. If you say, I'm a communist, you should want people to pick apart your thinking so that either you A, get better at defending your thinking, or you B, change what you thought before. Like I said before, the BPP were geniuses. They were great. Like I said, they're perfect at everything, okay? They've read all of these books that these like supposedly leftist, communist, socialist, whatever they want to call themselves, influencers have not read. Okay, so they know that from its inception, Marxism was based off of leftist infighting, where Marx and Engels are picking fights with people that they just slightly disagree with. This is Lenin's entire thing. You cannot read one book of Lenin, you can't read one paragraph of Lenin without finding him like attacking Kautsky for something that like they just like 0.001% disagree on, right? This is the core of the entire thing. This is how like the USSR was able to achieve a socialist revolution, is by a very, very strict adherence to very clearly articulated principles. It did not happen because people like these socialist influencers who have 20,000 followers on Instagram or whatever, who get on here and say like, hey, if you have a different idea or you disagree with somebody, just let it go, man. Can you imagine like if doctors did this? Can you imagine if you're like learning how to cook and you're cutting a carrot and your head chef is like, you just whatever, just do whatever, it'll be fine, who cares? Can you imagine Gordon Ramsay saying that? No, like, you need criticism, you need to fight about these things, but more importantly than all of that, if you're learning how to cook, you're learning how to be a doctor, or you're a scientist or whatever, you learn from people who are more experienced. You read those books, right? So the Black Panther Party, for example, not just the Black Panther Party, but the American Indian Movement, SNCC, all of these Students for the Nonviolent Movement, all of these organizations that COINTELPRO were targeting had already read these books, right? They know what the correct answer is because they read theory, right? They understand what the correct answer was. So if somebody came into their organization and said like, hey, what if we try this? They say, no, go back and study again and then we'll let you in later. They're not sitting there like arguing with somebody for no reason. Doesn't exist, right? So leftist infighting does not cause damage to leftist organizations. It's good, right? We should be fighting. Next one, I mentioned before that like the Black Panther Party in particular got brought down by two things. Number one is violence and police brutality and getting arrested. Number two is the paranoia that they experienced thinking that other people in their group were infiltrators, right? That paranoia and that distrust was what actually took them down. They might have actually survived even despite like violence and arrests from the police. If they didn't have this paranoia, if they started trusting each other, then they would have been okay. So again, these people who don't read theory and don't understand history get on here and they say like, hey, if somebody starts picking a fight in your organization, they might be a Fed. They might be working for the government. No. Sorry. That's making things dangerous for everybody. You do not want to say that about anybody at any time, right? That type of thinking is actually doing the Fed's work for them. If you start like saying, hey, you need to distrust everybody that you're in contact with, and especially distrust people that disagree with you or know more than you, then yeah, you're actually destroying organizations. That is what is actually dangerous. So in summation, this book, Huey P. Newton, Revolutionary Suicide, go read it. It's great. Marx and Lenin, two pretty smart guys. Go read those guys. And please fight with each other. And if somebody is fighting with you, you don't have to accuse them of working for like the CIA or something. Just disagree. Just learn how to have a debate, or learn how to get smarter, or just get tougher. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, okay, that's it. Bye.